Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'd like to show you how to make this cobblestone effect on fondant that I use to present my gardening themed cupcakes. Okay, so to begin with, I coloured some white fondant or sugar paste, a very light grey, using this graphite sugar flare food colouring paste. And if you'd like to see how I colour my fondant, I have got a tutorial in another video and I'll leave a link to that in the description. So to make the cobblestone pattern, I embossed it using this Cobblestone embosser by PME, and you can see that one side you have all the ribs going down and the other side they're kind of protruding out, so you can actually use it either way depending on the effect you want. Just so you know, I'll leave a link to everything that I use in this tutorial in the description so you can have a closer look later. Okay, so here I've rolled out my fondant and I stuck it onto my cake board. You can see that I've not done a neat edge on the edge of the cake board, and that's because when you press the embosser down onto it, it's going to protrude over anyway, so there's no point in doing that till later. I've rolled it out to about 5mm thick, so you've got enough thickness there to get a lovely imprint with your embosser. Okay, so I've got my embosser and I'm going to check that I've got it the right way with the ribs going down. And then I'm going to decide where I want to place it onto my fondant. And then I'm going to take a cake smoother and I'm just going to gently go over that embosser, applying a little bit of pressure to make sure we get a nice, even imprint. I'm trying not to go on the edge there so I don't get the line of the embosser onto the fondant. Okay, so I'm just going to take that off. Now the good thing about this embosser is you can see here that I haven't gone even in the middle. So you can easily pop that back on, fit it into the slots and just go over the bit that you've not gone so hard on, so it's not such a visible imprint. And there we go. Okay, so I'm just going to use my finger just to neaten off any line that's come on there from the embosser. So now I'm doing the other side. Now I'm looking to see which ones would be the best match for the side that's already imprinted. And I'm just going to use my cake smoother again to emboss the cobblestone effect. Okay, just going to gently take that off. And you can see I've got a little bit of the line from the edge there, so I'm just going to smooth that with my finger. And now I'm just going to use a clean brush just to make some little lines to join up the cobblestones in the middle. So you might have to make some little lines there in some little shapes. Just because obviously where the embosser hasn't matched up, you have to kind of make your own little cobblestones there. And then once I've done that, I just go over any of the other cobblestone imprints that may not be as visible as I'd like. So I'm just going to go around the whole board with my clean brush just to make sure that I've got some nice deep imprints. And then once I've done that, I'm going to take my bone tool and I'm just going to go over each cobblestone, almost like I'm scribbling on the cobblestone. I'm just making a little bit of texture there. So I'm going to go over the whole board, creating texture on every cobblestone. And please, if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up because it really helps my channel. Okay, so this is what my board looks like now. I hope you can see all the texture that I've got in there. And now's the time that you can sort out the edge of your board. Now you can either trim it to the edge of your board, the fondant, or you can do what I did, and that's just to use my brush just to emphasize all the texture there at the edge. And then I go in and use my bone tool just to create a nice bit of further texture, and I kind of like that effect. So once you've trimmed or done what you need with the edge of the board, you can then leave that overnight to dry before adding all the colour. Okay, so it's the next day, and the first thing I'm going to do is add some of this shadow grey edible food dust to all the grooves on the board. So I popped it onto a kitchen towel, and I've popped my brush into the dust, and I'm just going to dab off the excess before going in and painting all the grooves. Now I can't stress enough, dab that excess off because you can always put too much on, which is hard to take off, but then you can always build it up. So make sure you dab that excess off, if not you could get in a bit of a mess. So I'm just going to go around and do every bit of groove. It doesn't matter if they're not even in colour because it's a cobblestone effect and it's not going to be even. Just go around and just do every bit of groove. And now I've done that, I've put some more of the grey edible dust onto my paper and some white edible dust. I'm just mixing them together just so I'm making it a lighter shade. I've got a bigger dusting brush. Again, I'm dipping it into the dust and then getting the excess off. And then I'm going to go around just on some random cobblestones and just colour them in. I just wanted it a lighter shade because I want it to be more subtle. So I'm literally just going to go around and just choose some random stones just to give a bit of colour to them. Okay, so before I add the next colour, a little tip here, if you've got some corn flour, just dip your brush into the corn flour and then keep dabbing it until no colour of the grey is on your brush anymore, and then your brush is ready to use for the next colour, and I'm using grape violet. I just thought that looked nice with the grey. Again, I'm just going to make that more of a subtle colour by adding a little bit of white, just mixing it in there so it's very pale violet. And then again, dab it into the colour, dab off the excess, and then just choose some random cobblestones to take this colour. Okay, so lastly I add a little bit of moss green dust, and this just to add a little bit of the kind of mossy look on my cobblestone. So again, I popped it onto the towel, and then I got off the excess from my brush. I have a smaller brush now. And I'm just going to very, very gently go around the edge of some of those cobblestones just to add a little tiny bit of green. I didn't want to do too much because I didn't want it to look too much. I just chose a few of the cobblestones and just added some green. So once you've done that, that's your cobblestone effect done. I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. Please don't forget to check out my other ones. Please comment, like and subscribe for more, and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching.